Hello Pokemon Masters! As I'm sure you know, in the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon video, Alolan forms were revealed. Which means there's now a ton of speculation videos about what new forms could be revealed in the future. I wasn't going to make a video about it, but immediately after watching the video, I started drawing my own variations and forms, because I'm an artist and that's what I do. And I ended up with a bunch, so I might as well put them in a video. I'm really excited about these concepts, so let's just get right into it. The first one I drew is an obvious choice. Vulpix and Sandshrew both got Ice-type forms. I really love Arctic animals, so of course I immediately thought of another one. In this case it was the Snow Owl. So I turned Noctowl into an icy, white and blue Snow Owl. Naturally it would be flying and Ice-type. Noctowls gotta eat something and the Rattatas don't really live in the snow, so we need a snow rodent. How about turning Baneri into a cute fluffy white rabbit? Snow rabbits and hares are a thing too, so it makes perfect sense. Because it has to stay warmer in the snow, it's gotten a lot of more fluffy white fur that makes it super cute. Don't worry, I'm not going to turn every Pokemon into an ice type. For the next one, I'm actually going to do the opposite. We're going to take Spheal and remove its ice type. Spheal's got a lot of fat, that's why it's so round and cute. In cold, icy water, this is perfect to keep warm. But in a warmer climate like the Alolan region has, the massive amount of fat isn't really necessary. You can stay warm anyway, so Spheal would have evolved into becoming a bit longer and skinnier. I know it still looks pretty chubby, but this slightly longer shape will make it easier to swim in the water because it's more dynamic, which means catching prey will be easier. This way these cute seals can compete with other water-type species in the Alolan region. Okay, so now Executor got this really long neck now, and it's due to all that sunshine making it grow. So wouldn't it make sense for other grass types to also grow really big? Take Sunflora for example. I mean, come on, it's a sunflower. It's an obvious choice, isn't it? One example would be growing taller, just like Executor, because that's what sunflowers do, they reach for the sun and then they grow really tall. That's a bit boring, isn't it? It's a sunflower, so what if we change it into a fire-type sun Pokemon? Wouldn't that be cool? But in my opinion, that's still a bit too obvious and boring. And somehow it doesn't really make sense that it would suddenly catch on fire. Except for its name, I can't really find a good reason to make Sunflora a fire-type. If we assume all these other grass types are growing really strong because of the sunshine, then maybe Sunflora, being not the strongest type of Pokemon, sort of had to retreat into the darkness instead. Beautiful petals would instead start to wilt and fold into its face, making it look like a scarecrow. Because it wasn't meant to live in the dark, it got a bitter nature and turned into a dark type, possibly a ghost type, depending on how far you want it to be damaged. I think this concept is more interesting than just setting it on fire. One Pokemon that would instead thrive in the sunshine would be Blossom. It's a hula dancer, it's not going to go unnoticed in the Alolan region, is it? But instead of a dramatic type change, let's just mix up its flowers a bit. Hawaii is known for its flowers, so of course you could showcase it in this Pokemon. I just googled Hawaiian flowers and used some for inspiration. There are billions of beautiful flowers you could use for Blossom, so it's a really fun concept. As for its type, maybe just add fairy or poison or whatever suits the type of flower best. Let's talk about Diglett. We've all seen the memes, so we know this is a popular one that will show up in everyone's lists. So far, I've seen a lot of people be excited that maybe we'll see Diglett's feet for once. And sure, that would be cool. But I honestly don't believe Game Freak would do that. Because they are basically trolls. Did they make a cool palm tree Executor? No, they made a giant weird neck creature and call it a dragon, I don't even know. They wouldn't just show us Diglett's feet. They'd find another way to hide it, just to annoy us. I promise that's what they will do if they do anything to Diglett. One way to do this would be to turn it into a water type. No one really knows how it's swimming, but it's got bubbles all around it so you can never tell what its body looks like. Or maybe it just lives in a shell that's unbreakable and you once again will never know what its feet look like. Or I guess it's fins now. You know when you're just walking through a cave and then you hear that noise of flappy wings and suddenly you have a ton of Zubats just sucking your blood out? Like, how am I supposed to live without blood? Zubat, can you just not do that anymore, please? Thanks. What do you mean you need to eat blood to live? Can't you just eat fruit or something? They definitely could. All that sunshine is sure to make a lot of berries and fruits available for Pokemon to eat, so Zubat wouldn't have to hunt anymore. As a result, it would turn into a calm, nice Pokemon. I borrowed the colors from Golbat Shiny and I think they look really fairy-like, so let's just say it's a fairy type now. Just a sweet little fairy looking for fruit to eat. If you were at the Pokédex centers of Farfetch'd, you know that it's been hunted almost to extinction. But hiding isn't always an option, so what Farfetch'd has to do is to fight. Sharpening its beak into a sword made it even better at fighting and able to survive in the Alolan region. As a result, they're really aggressive, but they're alive and not extinct, so yay Farfetch'd. I think Crustle and Dwebble are perfect candidates for having new forms. They make their own shells, so they could just make it out of anything, right? So why not make it out of grass and tree stumps? That's where Bug usually lives, so that makes perfect sense to me. I know a grass and bug type isn't exactly original, but you know, why not? It certainly makes sense for bugs to move into trees and grass, that's where they live in real life. And I think grass types are so cute, there's something so calm and peaceful about them. Have you heard the legend from Sinnoh about 108 spirits being trapped in an odd keystone as punishment for the bad things they did? What if the same thing happened in the Alola region? But the style of the Alolan keystone would be a little bit different. Instead of staying evil for those 500 years, it just turned nicer and learned its lesson, so it's actually a pretty nice Pokemon now. It doesn't have to be too different from a regular Spiritomb. But I really like the idea of a keystone that's supposedly made by humans, looking a bit different from region to region. A small detail like that would be really interesting. Because it's not really evil anymore, I would swap its Dark type for Psychic type. Coming up with and drawing different forms for Pokemon is super fun. I'm really interested to see what Game Freak is giving us for real though, and I'm really excited to use them in battle. I'm super happy Game Freak did it so all Pokemon can get some new love. I think having different forms makes the Pokemon world seem more real and more like our world, and I'm always for that. Thanks for watching this video and see you in Alola where everyone will be using their Ice Fairy Vulpix. Trust me, I know everyone will be using it, everyone just loves it.